Good news. My new book is finally here. It's called Handbook for the Heartbroken, A Woman's Path from Devastation to Rebirth, and you can order it now wherever books are sold. I wrote this book after the 5-year span between 2016 and 2020 when I experienced serial heartbreaks that rocked literally every area of my life, my health, relationships, money, career, social status, and even my very sense of self. And along the way, I really got to experience firsthand how dysfunctional our culture's relationship is to loss. I saw how we live in a heartbreak illiterate world that's obsessed with success and shackled with isolation and ignorant of how valuable our suffering can be for our growth and our evolution, not only as individuals, but also as a collective. So this book expands the conversation around loss beyond just breakups and bereavement, although we definitely cover those too, in order to include falls from grace of all kinds, personal, professional, and collective. So whether you're experiencing hardship now or know you have past hurts that are holding you back in certain ways and still need healing, this book is here to support you. It's also a great book to gift to clients, family members, friends, just other women in your world who are going through a challenging time. It will show you that it's only through fully turning toward your heartbreak with support, courage, and compassion that you can heal. So within the loving pages of this book, you will have full permission to fall apart and slowly, organically find your way back to greater wholeness. I'm truly excited to share this with you. It was not a joy to live this journey, but it really was a joy to write it. And you can find it again wherever books are sold, and the audio version of the book is available as well. If you would like some gifts to accompany you on your heartbreak journey, you can get those at handbookfortheheartbroken.com. Those are free. Whenever you order books, you can just send in your invoice or your receipt, and we'll send you those accompanying gifts. Enjoy. Good news. My new book is finally here. It's called Handbook for the Heartbroken, A Woman's Path from Devastation to Rebirth, and you can order it now wherever books are sold. I wrote this book after the 5-year span between 2016 and 2020 when I experienced serial heartbreaks that rocked literally every area of my life, my health, relationships, money, career, social status, and even my very sense of self. And along the way, I really got to experience firsthand how dysfunctional our culture's relationship is to loss. I saw how we live in a heartbreak illiterate world that's obsessed with success and shackled with isolation and ignorant of how valuable our suffering can be for our growth and our evolution, not only as individuals, but also as a collective. So this book expands the conversation around loss beyond just breakups and bereavement, although we definitely cover those too, in order to include falls from grace of all kinds, personal, professional, and collective. So whether you're experiencing hardship now or know you have past hurts that are holding you back in certain ways and still need healing, this book is here to support you. It's also a great book to gift to clients, family members, friends, just other women in your world who are going through a challenging time. It will show you that it's only through fully turning toward your heartbreak with support, courage, and compassion that you can heal. So within the loving pages of this book, you will have full permission to fall apart and slowly, organically find your way back to greater wholeness. I'm truly excited to share this with you. It was not a joy to live this journey, but it really was a joy to write it. And you can find it again wherever books are sold, and the audio version of the book is available as well. If you would like some gifts to accompany you on your heartbreak journey, you can get those at handbookfortheheartbroken.com. Those are free. Whenever you order books, you can just send in your invoice or your receipt, and we'll send you those accompanying gifts. Enjoy. Welcome to Herself, a space for women to have deep conversations about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential. so you can become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. After being in business for over 2 decades, I've learned, as you likely have too, that as you grow your business grows you in unexpected, often challenging, yet miraculous ways. Here, we'll talk about how to get out of your own way so you can grow a business that's abundant and sustainable while allowing you to be a force for good in the world. I'll give you simple, actionable strategies as well as wisdom and inspiration to help you root into your wholeness, lead from your values, and work in ways that feel deeply aligned so you can bring your true self into the world through your business and in every area of your life. Hello, friends. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to let you know about a retreat that I'm leading this coming weekend. For any of you who have some last-minute flexibility and desire to join, it's at Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health in the Berkshire Mountains of Massachusetts, and it's from Friday, July 19th to Sunday, July 21st, and the topic is around my new book, which is called Handbook for the Heartbroken. The topic of the retreat is healing from heartbreak. So this is for you if you're moving through any sort of challenging season of life, if you're moving through perimenopause or just had a breakup or are finding that you're struggling in your career or with your finances or just with your sense of self or the state of the world. And it's also for you if you have been through something challenging in the past, but you feel like it's not fully resolved and you would benefit from having more space and time to really tend to that and to integrate that experience more fully into your being so that you can live with greater presence and wholeness now. So we're going to be practicing women's yin and slow flow yoga, meditation, internal family systems practices to really cultivate that sense of inner wholeness. And I'm going to be sharing teachings and other rituals to support us with this process. Kripalu is one of my favorite places, especially at this time of year. It is so green and lush, and I love hiking. I love going and reading by the lake or swimming in the lake, or you can take a kayak there. I love sitting outside on the picnic tables and just looking out at the beautiful view, going to the yoga classes there, even just browsing around the shop. And it's a great shop, and checking out the books and the different perfumes and all the things that they have there. So if this speaks to you, again, it's at Kripalu, and you can learn more at kripalu.org. I would love to see you there. So let's talk more about what we're here to talk about today, which is marketing, how I learned to love marketing, and how you can too. Yes, this is possible. I'm going to tell you how. Let's start by me confessing that I remember there were periods of time in the old iteration of my business before I passed through my midlife initiation and restructured everything, when I would literally scream and cry, I hate marketing. I hate marketing. I felt at times like I was on a constant hamster wheel of producing content. It felt exhausting, kind of like climbing a mountain with no top. And I know I'm not alone in this because I hear it so often from some of my friends and colleagues, and especially from my students and clients. So one of the biggest things that the women who work with me come to me struggling with is marketing, really wondering, how do I do it in an authentic way? How do I do it so I'm actually getting a return on my investment? So I don't just feel like I'm posting on social media, sending out emails, and just getting crickets in response. And how do I create a cohesive plan rather than just randomly doing it here and there when I have the motivation or the inspiration or I have the time? And how to refine messaging so that we can be the signal in the noise, because the marketplace is super full, especially right now. But more importantly, how to speak directly to the kinds of people that we want to work with, to prepare them and inspire them to work with us. So this is a big, important topic that I want to spend some time here addressing in more depth for us all. But first, let's just define what marketing is so we can start from that foundation together. The American Marketing Association defines marketing as the activity and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, and society at large. Investopedia defines it as this: marketing refers to the activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of its products or services. Marketing includes advertising and allows businesses to sell products and services to consumers, other businesses, and organizations. So it's a way of letting our ideal clients and customers know who we are, what we offer, and how we can support them. It also educates them as to why we are or aren't the best person to support them. And it gives them what they might need to know, understand, or believe in order to step in to work with us. So when I pivoted to recreate my business in 2021, I knew I needed to address the marketing thing, specifically my resistance to marketing, because I knew that I wanted to set up a body of work and a way of working that would support me for the next couple of decades, and that I wanted to enjoy it. I really came to terms with the knowing that marketing is necessary for any business, and that in the world that we're living in now, it really needs to look a certain way. Because when I first started out in my 20s, my main form of marketing was really posting flyers around town. And that was super effective. Now that is not effective. I can't even remember the last time I posted a flyer. Now it's a lot more complex. So I knew I needed to reframe marketing to make it feel more sustainable and enjoyable for me. So we talk a lot about wholeness here in this community and the importance of working with our inner parts as we take outer actions in the world, kind of in lockstep. And doing this requires that we move more slowly to really make sure that all of our parts, or you could say our inner selves, are coming with us. So we're not working against ourselves, which we all know is more exhausting and will actually take us longer, because we'll either get stuck and not take any action, or we'll charge forward, we'll override parts of ourselves, and then we'll collapse. And those other parts of us will self-sabotage. So what I did first was I connected with the parts of me that said that they hated marketing. And I really heard their concerns. I really took time to understand and to validate where they were coming from. Just like I would with a friend or my partner when they're upset about something. It's about really being present and listening. And once I did that, then I called in some other parts of me, like the parts of me who do actually really like marketing, the parts of me that are good at it, and parts of me that had ideas about it, some creative inspiration. And I had a roundtable discussion, and all this is happening inside of me, with these various parts to see if we could find a path forward that would work for us all. Here's what I discovered. The parts of me who loved marketing were the parts of me when I was younger who wanted to be a journalist or wanted to work in a magazine. It was the part of me who wrote columns for my school papers in high school and in college, who wrote articles for Yoga Journal and other publications after college, and who enjoyed the whole process of staying in regular communication with readers in those ways. I also connected with the parts of me who loved to write in general and who loved finding ways to express myself creatively. And those are related to young parts of me who used to love putting together unique book reports or, social studies reports or science experiments, and just seeing how can I do this differently in a way that will maybe stand out from the ways that other people are doing that. And yes, maybe you can hear some of my Enneagram 4 in there. I also called in the parts of me who knew and have studied a lot about business, copywriting, and marketing over the past couple of decades, who were excited about finding a middle way of blending together all of my passions, all of my experience and expertise. And so, what my parts and I came to really see is that marketing is a form of service and it's a form of creative expression and it's a form of teaching to be more precise. Now, my central life mission is to be a teacher in service of the divine feminine on the planet at this time. And right now, it is specifically to be a teacher in service of women business owners to use the incredible power of a business to express the values of the divine feminine on the planet at this time. And I share my teachings in the form of this podcast, my 3 books, my online programs. I also share my teachings in the form of marketing. So everything I create, I see how it can be a vehicle for my teachings, whether it's something as long as a 200 or 300-page book or as short as a 10-second Instagram reel. And I have a system for gathering ideas for what to teach on, for what to share in my weekly newsletter, for what to share in this podcast or in my social media posts. And these are things that you women in our community ask me about, things that I witness you're struggling with, and things that I know I have information, resources, or even just a perspective shift to support you with those things. And then I like to create a storyline like I would do if I was working with a magazine. So, for example, as I map out my year, I look at what I'm going to be offering and when. Like, let's take this year, 2024, as an example. In January and February, I had more of a New Year's theme, and I offered a workshop on design your dream business, invited people into my year-long program, Sorceress CEO. Then the spring was offering my new book, Handbook for the Heartbroken, and everything was related to that topic. Then in the early summer, we moved into my free workshop series called Step Into Your Sorceress CEO, and again, inviting women into that mastermind, Sorceress CEO. And in the fall, it will be around my flagship IFS and Women's Spirituality program, Sorceress School. Then interspersed through those 4 main promotional seasons are smaller offers like one-on-one mentoring or various retreats that I'm leading. So then within each of those seasons, and I look at like, what am I offering each season? There are different themes or clusters of topics associated with them that I plan to speak about across all of my platforms. And because I also have a vast library of content that I've created over the years, I look to see how I can repurpose things like emails that I've already written, social media posts that have already gone up, even podcast episodes. So I'm not always creating something new. And for everything new that I do create, I think about how can this have longevity? How can this be a piece of teaching that I use again and again and that I can refer people to? So for example, with this podcast, I see this as like a teaching resource. And so what I'm sharing right now is coming out of a common struggle. I hear a lot about how to market when you hate marketing, or how to have a cohesive marketing plan that's valuable to the people you serve and helps them get to know, like, and trust you enough to want to work with you in a deeper way. And so in the future, when someone comes to me with that struggle, I will refer them to this episode, and that could be years from now. Plus, like I mentioned briefly a little bit earlier, with the market being very full right now, and there's just so much information out there, even more, we need to offer value and to speak to things in a different way than others are, so that, again, we can stand out from other people and then the right people can find us. So it's worth taking some time to sit down and really be with this, to talk to your inner selves. See what parts of you are resisting marketing. What parts of you have gifts and talents that they can contribute to it. Call an inner family meeting and really hear from all of your parts about this, all of your parts who have something to say about this. And don't rush through this. Then you can see what common ground you stand on and how you can move forward from there. You can start to gather a list as you continue to explore the core challenges, objections, and dreams of your ideal clients and customers, things that you would enjoy speaking to and have wisdom to share. Then you can look at your offerings calendar for the year and see, what are you offering each season, and how can these topics that you've listed out fit into each of those seasons? What do you have that can be repurposed? Or how, or what you're creating now, how can that be repurposed? And then you can start to get more granular to map out how you'll be in communication with your audience. So I recommend one, air quotes, rented source like social media, because you don't own that. So like your Instagram or Facebook account, that could disappear at any time. But choose one, like some of you might not even want to be on social media, and that's fine, but don't try to be going all in on all the places. So maybe you just choose, you see where are your ideal clients hanging out, and maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's Instagram, and see, how can I just really focus on that one rented source? And then one owned source, which I recommend, it would be an email list, and see, how do I want to communicate there? Is it a weekly newsletter? Is it an every other week newsletter? Is it a podcast? And then you can start to create a marketing calendar for the week, for the month, for the season, and for the year, for how you're going to communicate on those channels. So this is when you really map out what you'll be sharing and when. And then you put on your calendar kind of time block when you'll create those things. And you can create systems to help you streamline it. And just all of this becomes part of your weekly rhythm. So for example, I have mapped out on my calendar times when I am recording this podcast, when I am writing a newsletter that I'm going to send you, when I am prepping my social media posts. So I'm not just kind of doing it on the fly, because then it's like we're just asking ourselves to find inspiration in the moment. And when a lot of times we're not going to do that, or we're going to be busy, or we're going to feel stuck, and then so we're just not going to do it. So the more that we prepare, the more successful we'll be. And then I have systems for my team to help me produce this podcast, or to format the emails, to test the links, things like this. But when I was just getting started in my business, or when I was rebuilding it some years ago, it was just me, and that's okay too. You can still document your process so that when you're ready to bring on support, you have a way to lead them step by step through how to do it. I'm a big believer that structure creates freedom. So when you put the structure in place for you and your business, it will help to draw in more of your ideal clients, help to build that more long-term relationship in a way that you enjoy. So you create a library of content that you feel proud of, and that helps people, that serves as resources for years to come. This brings more health for your business. This brings more integrity with yourself, because you're doing marketing in a way that aligns with your highest values in your central life mission. And it serves others and the world that we want to live in. So to me, I see this as a triple blessing. It's a win-win-win situation, which is the best kind of situation there could be. It supports your business, it supports you, it supports the people that you're working with. And maybe even a quadruple win, because it also serves the world. So if you want deeper support in creating a soul-led marketing plan and systems, that is one of the things that I support my private mentoring clients with. I am opening up a few spaces now to start together in the fall. And this could be a time to get really specific about who you're serving, the best ways to communicate with them, how to create a marketing plan that is unique to you in terms of connecting regularly with your clients and customers, but also, through email, but also if you have things like a podcast or social media, even Facebook or Instagram ads, if those are part of your business model. So we want to diversify our marketing to be sharing our message through multiple channels. And when you're beginning, that can start simple, but we do want to be looking at a range of things while making it really unique and enjoyable for us. And then more importantly, to move forward with whatever plan you have from this place of inner wholeness and cohesion, because That wholeness is what gives you the power required to actually create something of lasting value. So if you're finding that you're struggling to have the power to create in that way, it is because there is not that wholeness there. Not all parts of you are not being included. But I invite all of us to consider, where are you in relationship to the things that I shared here? Is more connection with your parts needed? Do you need more time and care spent on your messaging, both in terms of content and avenues of expression? Do you need a reframe about marketing? Like for me, seeing marketing as a vehicle for service and specifically for teaching. Do you need to map out a more detailed plan for yourself so that each week you're not scratching your head, wondering what to post on social media or what to send to your email list? So you end up not sending anything or posting something that's vague and generic and just not getting the results that you want. So take an honest assessment of where you are. Have compassion for whatever you discover. And remember that all we ever need to do is take the next right step. So what for you is that next right step? I celebrate whatever that is, and I invite you to join me in this new, more empowering paradigm of marketing, where we get to align it with our values and our highest life priorities, where we get to see marketing as a potent vehicle for sharing our wisdom in service of uplifting those who need it. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, change doesn't come from listening alone. I invite you to commit to taking one small or large courageous action after today's conversation. One step you can take, if you haven't already, is to sign up for my Sunday journal. It's a weekly newsletter filled with inspiration and reflections about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential, to help you become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. You can subscribe at programs-sarahavonstover.com/journal. And if you found this podcast valuable, please share it with the women in your world. Also, I'd be very grateful if you'd leave a review. It helps others find resources like this, and I'd love to hear what's coming alive for you after listening today. Above all, keep going, and never forget the unique offerings you and your true self bring to the world. Until next time, I'm sending you my heartfelt support.